for on herself. Yeah, we could kind of play with the numbers with that and see. You know,
Has in the past, has there ever been a time where they ask for NCE and they're not gonna get it?
CRB.
Not with CRB.
No, they just have to apply for it in advance.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know things are just like really crazy right now for everybody. So I don't know. I thought that was coming up, or it should be coming up fairly soon. I thought it was already, I don't know. I thought that deadline came for the NCE request. I could be wrong. Okay. Right. So. Okay. So we could give her the balance of the fund as of June 30th.
Okay.
We give her that balance as of June 30th, and then on a separate, on a separate subject, we just ask her, what are your plans? We need to move people on here, or do you want us to split this FAU with you, or with you and with a different fund for her payroll?
Okay.
Because I doubt she stopped working on this project, but she just has everybody else on her NEFA ones. Yeah, I think we had to do that to spin out her old NEFA.
When is the old NEFA got extended? Because is the expiration date, was it January 2020, or did that extended?
No, that one is done. The 23918.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's done.
That's done. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the other
that looks like
24075.
I know we did all kinds of transfers, and that one was.
Oh yeah.
That one was nasty.
That was nasty.
Yeah, we're completely zero on that. I think we're just waiting for the IDC to get completely cleaned up. But they should have done that already, and it should be nice and pretty and zero. But we'll see. Probably on the 998 ledger, see that completely zeroed out. Yeah. So for her CRB, I think we can get an understanding of what her plans are as far as what personnel she wants us to move over there, and percentage wise, she want to do like a 25, 75%. Yeah. And for her,
so that's between the NEFA and the CRB, 75 to 25%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can just make that proposal. I mean, because I don't know who's working on what project and what makes sense. I have to make sure that we just don't move people just to move them.
Yeah, just so. Yeah.
Even though sometimes we do. But in this case, if we get another year, or like I said, even 6 months, well, it won't be a problem to spend this out at all.
Okay. She's already got some kind of equipment that she wants to purchase. She's already got an idea.
Her CRB?
Yeah. I thought you mentioned that you she might be purchasing something.
Not on her CRB. I wouldn't recommend, especially it ending so soon. If she gets an NCE, then maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's true, because it's already at the end of the award. Yeah,
if she gets her no cost extension, then yeah, definitely we can do that. But it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be justifiable for us to buy a piece of equipment.
Yeah, that's like milk.
Oh.
At the end of the month, hey, I'm gonna buy this. I'm like, okay.
You know what? Lou did that to me.
Lou did?
He did that to me a few years ago, where he decided to just not even let me know. I saw it. I'm like, you can't do this. He goes, well, I didn't think it'd be a problem, you know. I'm like, no, you can't do it. Yeah. It has to come on, and I had to move it.
Yeah.
And he's like, he tried to buy, and it was something stupid. It's like business cards. Like, you can't put that on a grant. Come on, man. You know better. But so yeah, I think that would be our plan for her CRB. Just letting her know the balance, of course, and then just like asking her, who do you want to place on here?
Okay.
To start, who's actually working on the CRB? What percentage of her salary should we be putting on CRB?
Okay.
And then for her new MIFA one. So I'm not sure what would be easier for you to manage, because how I have it set up right now, I took out the cost for, I think it's Mike, Peggy, and Mary Lou have a budget. So what I did was I went ahead and deducted that from Chandrika's balance,
mm-hmm.
and I allocated it to them in PIWRS.
Okay.
Now, the problem is you're not going to be able to see those expenditures. You're going to have to monthly run or look at the ledgers monthly to see where the balances are, or keep some kind of separate log, or I can have you see all of the balances with an understanding that these budgets, you know, that's not all Chandrika's money to spend. I don't know what's easier for you to see.
I think it's easier how you have it right now, separated, that this is just hers, and then I'll just look at, you said Peggy,
Mike, and Mary Lou.
I'll just look at theirs separately.
It's the same fund number. It's just that they have their own separate cost centers.
Okay, and that would reflect on their statement.
Yes.
Okay.
It's on their statement now. I think I did it it should be on there now for June.
Okay.
So again, it's the same fund number. I have it as a shared fund in PIWRS.
Mm-hmm.
Now the only problem with that is if there's anything that's purchased without a cost center, you're not going to see it.
Ooh.
So that's the only I was torn. I was going back and forth with that. We just have to monitor that. If you see something I usually don't care because it's a unique fund.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll capture it because I have a cost center set up as all in PIWRS, and that's the reason why we do that. But with these ones, we will have to do NCTs or FCTs to make sure that, you know, the funds are it's being picked up correctly.
Mm-hmm.
With these ones like this where we have them split, it's important the correct cost centers are used.
Okay.
So sometimes they get Chandrika and Tracy. I'm sorry, it's not Peggy, it's Tracy. That has money, not Peggy, my bad. But they get their cost centers confused because Tracy's is OACR and Chandrika's is OARCR.
Oh, so close together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's just really monitoring, making sure if there's any transactions without a cost center on this fund, we can easily move it to where it needs to be.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the only thing, just like a heads up what to look out for and make sure that we're capturing all expenditures and there's no surprises.
Well, someone is, if the cost transfer was put in there incorrectly, the PIs would, you'll know because they'll probably say, hey, this is not my purchase. Yeah.
Well, yes, but it's not always. It could be their charge because it's their fund number, but it just could be somebody else not, being somewhere else and using the wrong.
Oh, I see.
Transposing,
Yeah.
Or just because sometimes when they do the subs, they don't always put the cost center on there.
Oh, I see.
When they pay the invoice, they'll just use the fund number and they won't put the cost center on there. So that's another concern.
Okay.
That I see could potentially happen.
So how do you have it right now? How are you doing it right now?
This is new. I just did it for June.
Okay.
So I just did the allocations for June. So before everything was going in Chandrika's cost center. So You could, like I said, you could do it. You could run a totals, and then just look at it by cost center,
Okay.
and make sure that as a total it matches up to the ledgers to make sure you're capturing. There's nothing that's falling out. I guess that's probably the easiest thing to do, to leave it like it is, and then monthly when you're doing your reconciliations, just run the totals for the fund, have and look at everybody to make sure that nothing's falling off.
Okay.
And then another thing with this fund is the IDC. We have to come up with a way. Again, this is something new, and we haven't had to do before. The IDC, like I mentioned, is calculated manually. So what they're excluding is her Energen and Gene Wiz, which I don't think she's purchased anything from them.
Well, Energen and the other one's what?
Gene Wiz, I think that's what it's
okay.
called. So I went ahead and I named, I put 24075 at the end in her proposal files, so you know which one is the right one to look at.
Okay. 24075.
So I have everything under budget. It's just its own folder, budget.
Okay.
And then final. Okay. So it's, I think I should just get rid of all of these, or just put them in a different folder. That way you guys can go to them. I'm sorry, I'm talking. So I'm just gonna get rid of it because I get myself confused too. There's so many budgets on here that we had to do. And they're out, some they say final and then revised final and
final revised.
oh, let me tell you, this was not fun. Okay, so the one that's in there, it's revised final.
Okay.
I just look at the last modification and I was like, so I know I'm looking at the right one. So right now it's the only one that's in there.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so what I did here is I went ahead and so you know what their budget is for Mary, Tracy, and Mike. This is what I allocated to them. I did not allocate IDC because since we're all in the same department, it's going to be calculated, as one. So I just did the direct to them. If we were going to do a different department, a different activity code, then we would also give them IDC. But since it's all in the same department, we don't have to. So what's being excluded from IDC is this right here.
Okay.
So this is being excluded from IDC, and then the full amount is being excluded.
Okay.
So again, similar to how we did the budget, her last NEFA budget, we have the IDC calcs. We just have to we have to monitor what our subs are doing. So when we get those invoices, when they should be saved in our monthly reconciliation financial folders. You're gonna actually have to look at them and calculate and keep track of what our subs are doing in IDC. Okay. So we just have to monitor. Unfortunately, as a crime, we have the burden of making sure collectively we do not exceed the $1,031,222 in IDC.
Okay. And
so this is our golden number we cannot exceed.
Okay. And for the subs, when do they give us their invoices on a monthly basis or as they have some?
No, it's hit and miss. Let me see what we have right now.
Do they email it to you, or where do you retrieve that?
Jennifer's the one that gets them.
Okay.
So as an analyst, we usually will look at them first and provide the FAU. But since we are remote, I'll have to ask her if she's still sending them to the analyst first. And then April is the one that has to sign off on all of them.
Okay.
Regardless of dollar amount. I don't approve them. She approves all subs.
Okay.
I don't know if you've looked at these before. So it's on Ledger Backup. So reconciled backup files. Let me see if there's a folder in there. So yes. So we paid one invoice. Well, let me make sure. I think we paid more. Let me make sure. Yeah, we have. Oh, just recently. So they're just not in there yet. We've just paid them. Okay, so yes. Texas A&M is the only one that has sent us invoices. USDA has not. UC Davis is in the last year, so they will not be sending us anything. Anyways, we don't assess IDC on them. So there's that. So with that being said, on this particular invoice, they broke down the IDC. This is oh, they are freezer. Oh, this is something different. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind. I got scared. I'm like, this is the freezer. So anything over 10,000, we also have to attach to the ledgers, and that's why this is in here. Sorry, I'm all over the place. This is not been cleaned up. So they did break it down for us. So far they've charged us this right here and direct costs. So we're gonna have to keep some kind of spreadsheet to log it.
Okay.
To log all of IDC hours and our subs.
Okay.
And make sure that we're like keeping on track.
Okay. And
not exceeding. And we're just in our first year, so it's not like it's years of and I would say you don't have to do it monthly, just do it quarterly. It's up to you how.
So when they submit these invoices, they do it quarterly, or do they do it?
So it's like I said, it's hit or miss. Sometimes they'll do it monthly. Some will do it in 6 months. I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, so they usually will put their award amount and let us know to make sure that it matches our records as well.
Okay.
Most of them do that. But it doesn't look like Jennifer has put the June ones that we paid in here yet. Because this is what I'm looking at in totals. I'm showing that we paid these ones right here. June 20. So these were just paid. They were all Texas A&M.
Oh, there's 3 more.
Yeah. So we'll just have to get with Jennifer and ask her to upload those for us. What she probably will do once she does the ledgers. Okay. So yeah, that's what I also wanted to discuss with you on Shandrika, that we need to start making sure that we track.
Okay.
Let's see what else. We did put in 100,000. I'm trying to see what we did. Oh yeah. Oh, the equipment. Of course, the equipment is excluded. That's normal. But these were also the ones that we excluded.
Okay.
And then we added back in the 100,000 that we would normally exclude. 100,000. I'll have to look and see what we did there. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I do see them doing a manual calculation on this every month. So which is why I was on board with them not wanting to make exceptions, because I know it sucks, and it sucks for us to have to track it. So, anyways, yeah, it's up to you on how you want to. If you want to put it in here, that's fine. If you want to create a new spreadsheet,
yeah,
that's fine.
I'll create a spreadsheet.
Yeah, but this is where you can get the information on. Obviously, it's also going to be in PAMIS,
Okay.
the official documents on what we agreed upon.
Budget or worded.
Okay. I think that was for her new one. And she also has this is UC Davis. This is for a sub on this, and then ask April if I could just leave because I think I overdid it. To try to clean up 23918. Same thing with this one. Boy, this one was a mess.
So for the old NIFA, what needs to be done for that one in order to close it? You're just waiting on the IDC to clear, yeah?
Yeah, that one just needs to be realigned. If I don't know if I did that already. I don't think so. I don't have ledgers up right now. But yeah, that one just needs to be. If it's not realigned to close, it just needs to be realigned. And that should be done and over with. Thank God. Yeah. Other than that, she does not have too much more going on. Oh yeah, these are my SCTs. Yep, had to do this to clear her NIFA.
What's the encumbrance of 17?
This right here?
Yeah.
That I believe was
Does that need to be shifted since it's like?
Could have been the subs that we de-obligated because they didn't use all of their money.
Okay.
That's where my eyes are starting to burn. I wonder what I have to do for that really quick. Hoping that's all cleared up. We'll see. That is thinking about spending. Let me look in the comments. Is it really slow for you today? It was working awesome this morning and it's like slowing down.
I got kicked out several times, but I think it was just I had so much crap open, so my Excel stopped working. I was trying to email stuff, and you know how when you try to attach an attachment, nothing was like, it was grayed out, so I had to like turn everything off, and then restart everything.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad then. I didn't. I'll be like not responding. What? Yeah, that's University of Hawaii. They did not spend that. We have a final invoice for that. Texas A&M. Yeah, that's all that is. It's the subs, the remaining balances, and we have final invoices. So those just need to be obligated.
Okay.
And they'll probably do that automatically, but we will not be getting any more invoices from them. Yeah, and I believe I also have, if you ever need to look at it, and you want to know how my crazy money works, I had to do a recon for this. Working at home, I have, if I get kicked off the network and I get kicked back on, all my Excels become a read-only. So I have to save them again as a different name, which is why there's a lot of auto-recovered versions of copies of. So this is kind of what my madness was in trying to clean her fund up.
Oh my God.
A rebudget that I did for, this was the subs, I believe, because they weren't going to use all of their money, and that one I have right here. So these were at the time that I still had the January invoice pending, which I knew the dollar amount, but these were all final invoices received, and this was the balance that we knew we were going to have. And theirs, I think, was like a $2,000 balance. This was their original award amount, and this again, I have so many sheets that were open. And this was, I think I did this one through June. Yeah, I just don't remember what date it was. And I don't even know how to explain this, to be honest with you.
It's a lot.
At one point, I had missed the boat on doing a transfer that I was waiting to do. So I had to transfer a portion of a sub-award invoice. So that's why I have it clearing from here. And then I had to do a rebudget because I'm moving it off, but not all of it could go off. Some of it had to go to direct and some had to go to indirect.
Thanks.
And this was my paper transfer pending. I hope that got done. Am I confusing you? I'm sorry.
That sheet was overwhelming. I'm like, what are we looking at? But this is done, right? That one was done. It's close. It's closing, so it's okay.
That is closed. Yes, they did it. They didn't adjust indices. They didn't adjust indices. I don't know when they fully close. I think it's the 25th, so hopefully they'll do the final IDC calc and fix it. Okay, so maybe this isn't going to completely go away yet. Well, at any rate, I'm still here, so if there's any issues with that, I can definitely step in and because that was just a nightmare to figure out.
Okay.
But other than that one, that mess, everything else is pretty much on target. Or again, this right here, I'll talk to April to see what we can do to clear that out.
So what's sales and services?
So she no longer has that. It was, she did something with, provided a service to one company.
Mm-hmm.
It was CCTEA, I believe. And they gave her, I think, like $25,000. And then she was able to, spend it on different things to actually provide the service. But she told me they're no longer doing it, so we're not going to be getting any more funding from them.
Okay.
So it can just go away. We don't have to keep that on the books anymore.
Okay.
And then her Thomas Delfino, that's a donation that she received. We put it in the shared fund right here, the 45595.
Mm-hmm.
Only because she doesn't have a lot of donations coming in, and they typically don't like us to set up a new fund number for a donation that small.
Oh, I see.
So we just put it in our shared donation fund and then allocate the amount to her.
Okay.
For her, I think that is pretty much it as far as what's going on with her. You have any questions on her?
Nope. I'm gonna look at it, review it. If I have questions, I'll let you know. I got a question for you. If a grant is already expired and there's still a remaining balance on the IDC function 80, what do you do with that? Do you go back to accounting, say, hey, there's a remaining balance? What do they do with the remaining balance of IDC?
It depends on the dollar amount. If it's a large dollar amount, it's usually a rebudgeting issue. So, for example, if we have, like, let's say $200 in IDC,
mm-hmm.
and we have, like, maybe $2 in direct, mm-hmm. there's a problem that happened with rebudgeting, like realigning the budget. It wasn't done correctly.
Okay.
So at that point, we have to go back and look and see where, if there was any BEAs that were done for rebudgeting, and look to see where the problem was. And that's been happening. We've been finding those.
Okay. What's the minimum amount that you don't have to do that?
So if it's like 90 cents, a dollar, $1.20,
really
small dollars like that, then it's usually rounding. Okay. Or it could be a change in IDC where it went from 55 to 55.5.
Yeah.
And originally we allocated so much to be done at 55%, but in reality, maybe a third of the portion was done, and then the rest of it was done at the higher percentage, or vice versa.
Okay.
So that can also cause a shift in IDC, and it's usually a few dollars with that.
Okay.
How much are you talking about?
I was in, hold on a sec. It was mostly milk stuff.
Yeah, milk stuff is a hot mess.
Let's see. Yeah, there's several that I copied and pasted that there was balance on the IDC, so it's not uploading. I did a snip preview, but it's not loading right now. So, but I think it's like 20. I can't look at it. I'll forward you what I found, because so that means I have to go back to the actual expenditures and make sure that the BA was done correctly, right?
Yes. If that is, I think that's a good training exercise for everybody.
Yeah.
I think everybody is struggling with that area. IDC is a bitch to understand and grasp.
Yeah.
Because there's so many rates and there's so many different, when you exclude, when you not exclude, and having that understanding.
Yeah.
So, what I do, just to let you know my steps when I do see that, and I know I have to research, I'll run totals for the duration of the grant. So if it started in 2015, I'm running totals on that fund. I'm trying to pick up all cost centers, everything on that fund, from the beginning to the end. And I do a dump. I look at BEAs first. Okay. I just do a pivot, and that's why you see my spreadsheet that I did with Chandrika's. It looks similar to that. It's just, it's a lot going on. I did the same thing with Summer from Nelson, where we found that, but a BEA was not done properly.
So
yeah,
it's not really good to do a lot of BEAs, right? Because it messes up at the end.
Yeah. If there's no IDC involved, like CRB, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But if you see, like, for example, if the PI is buying a piece of equipment, they got approval, then yeah, of course you need to do a BEA to reflect that and adjust IDC if necessary. Again, if you're getting down to the last 6 months and you see a balance of 90,000 in their BC 21 and you don't have any grad students on there, it's another red flag. Like, we need to remove this. Or if they have a huge deficit in BC 21, it's like, okay, you really don't have this much money to spend because we're going to have to pull it from IDC. You know, it's just looking and monitoring your balances and what's excluded, what's not excluded. If it's a total direct cost fund, like the NEFA one, you're fine because there's no exclusions.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just one of those things I told April we really need to have some more training on. That way, and I get it because I've been there many times where it was really hard for me to grasp that understanding.
Yeah, I was just looking at. And honestly, like, this month, that was the first month that I looked at the Function 80, because Dominica was like, hey, how come you're not certifying your Function 80? I'm like, what? I usually don't. So yeah, this month
was like, I don't know if you heard me, like, and don't forget to do BC80.
Yeah, so she told me this month. I'm like, oh, I've never really done it, so I'm gonna start doing it now. So that's why I'm like, okay, yeah. Okay.
That's how you know that there's something wrong with your fund, when you're looking at your direct and your indirect.
Mm-hmm.
If it's really off, because if it's a 50%, you can kind of gauge what your balance is.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it quick, and if it's like really, really off, then that's right. Okay, I need to look at this a little bit more.
Yeah.
And if it's one that's an exclusion, where it's the MTDC, and you see like these big balances or deficits in BC 21 and 60,
mm-hmm.
and or if you're 65 and your 66 is off,
mm-hmm.
then those are like, okay, I need to look at this more closely.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we did see those. I know I saw them on my funds throughout the year. I just didn't have the time to really go and dig in. So now I think we have the time where we're fully staffed, and it's just training and letting you guys know what to look for and when you need to research more and how to research it. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I give you Philippe?
No. Yeah, you did.
No? I did? Okay.
Yeah.
So his is a good example because I have one that I need to look at closely, the 23995, which we have plenty of time because it doesn't end anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I need to look at it because I think he has a deficit balance in 21 and 60. I don't remember. Oh my God, Summer is still out.
Where did she go?
I mean, her internet is still off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My mom had Spectrum.
I think we have Spectrum too, but my thing's up. She's got Spectrum?
It's like I had a light bulb or something, I don't know.
Okay, knock on wood. I'm not gonna say it's up. I'm gonna knock on wood because I just said it and it's gonna come out.
I'm not saying anything. Notice I didn't say anything?
I know.
Well, for Chandrika, I think we have enough to proceed, I guess, with her CRB.
Okay.
With Philippe, I have any time for that one. He doesn't have too much. I haven't even done anything with the statement yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not in that shape at all. It's just this fund I want to look at a little more closely. Yeah, these ones are really new. It's just, from me, it's just Chandrika and Felipe.
Yes.
Dominica, Cutler, and Ron. And then Summer just got here. I was hoping I could have all these done today, but
for that, there's an email that Ursula sent in regards to the budget for FWIS or FWS grant. So I just need to revise it, right?
yeah. And their format. So what she's asking in their sponsor format of budget, you know how they sent us that template that we had to populate?
Yeah.
And then showing the cost share. So that's what she's asking.
Okay.
That we need to give it in there because she's going to have to submit that to the sponsor as our revised budget. But keeping our cost share commitment the same.
Okay.
So that's pretty much the only thing that's changing is the cost share commitment is going to shift to
Lou.
Lou.
Okay.
And I agree with her. I think through June, we can just keep Jeff as it is, and it's just as of July 1st, we'll shift the amount to Lou.
Yeah, the thing is, even if we want to shift, even if we want to include Jeff's income or cost share for July, we're not paying him, right? He's not getting paid from us.
So it is going to have to only be for June.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that.
Thank you so much for showing me how to do that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm like, oh, I remember this.
Okay, so we're not too bad then. All right. You have anything else for me?
No. I'll revise that. I'll revise that budget for Ursula, and then I'll work on that email for Chandrika after.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.